welcome back to the channel. And this time it brings us out to the Kansas City Convention Center, downtown Kansas City. We are at the 2022 World of Wheels. And right behind me right here, I figured like this is kind of one of those things that just kind of give you that example of what crazy things, what cool things that are at the World of Wheels. So if you've never made it to one of these shows, you really need to make it one. Kansas City is not the only place that has them, but that just happens to be the one we're at right now. But just real quick, that right there is a 1940s Ford fire truck with twin jet engines at 24,000 horsepower that'll do over 400 miles an hour. That's some pretty crazy stuff, and we got a lot more to show you. My name is Corey Pratt, and this is Craving Cars. So if you've never been out to World of Wheels, yes, it's an extremely awesome car show, but it's not just cars. It's bikes. It's and I don't mean just like motorbikes. There's actually bicycles as well, trucks. Some have wagons that are done up kind of like rat rod kind of wagons, and others have like a little pedal car, and they're just kind of made up to look like a really old cool classic car. They kind of have set up that you have car groups, and then you have ones like this that are kind of, I guess what I could call the showstoppers. They have their own like a 20 by 20 little booth space, and they're the ones that just stand out the most to me. Not that there's not some really awesome rides with the clubs and the other businesses and stuff that show up, but they have an extra presence, and I think what is that they're not just here and parked. You know, they're set up with a full booth and a display that just catches your eye. Like, if this doesn't catch your eye, I really don't know what does. Those are typically probably the ones that you're going to spend the most time looking in thing, but you have also a little more space to walk around it. Not all cars you can do that to, because they're roped off in a group. We're gonna kind of speed through it. It is a big show, and we want to try to get this in one video on that, and just kind of give you a gist. There's no way we're gonna be able to spend a whole bunch of time on each car, as much as I would love to. Well, if this isn't an exciting thing right here, this is a 61 Impala. And it's not just any 61 Impala. If you follow Craving Cars at all, you know we also do a podcast called The Driven Radio Show. Now, when I say we, I'm one of the co-hosts. There's three of us. We have Mark L. Groves, and we have Brett Hatfield, the host of the show. This is his actual car. It's not his only car. He's got a 60 vet, 65 vet, you know, and some other various things. Very cool stuff. But this is kind of nice to actually see his car at the show. So if you have not seen the Driven Radio, or heard, I should say, it's a podcast, check it out. All your favorite podcast platforms and anywhere else that you listen to fine podcasts, look for the Driven Radio Show. It's really a hoot. Just listen to it. Split window. One of the more rare and cooler Corvettes of the 60s. If you think a 407 mile an hour 40s Ford fire truck is just wicked, which it is, I mean, come on, it's got a bubble top like something made from Homer Simpson. Look at that. And what about its cousin? Very strange over here, but very cool. Not to mention all the rest of these cars in this line are very cool as well. But then you just have things with, look at this. I don't know that the video is going to give this justice, but the candy red color or whatever this is just is gorgeous. And the crazy thing is, you would think it'd have like a white or red interior, and it's blue. So there you go. That's a lot of the things that you kind of see, walk around and kind of get an experience. World of Wheels. If you've never been, you really need to try to make it up here next year. By the time you see this video, it's probably gonna be too late to come up now because it'll be over. See, this is a little, kind of what I was talking about. So you got, this just so happens to have, you know, got this little build with its, well, its big equivalent right there. But yeah, it's just like a small little pedal car. And there's a good handful of those around the whole show. And so it's just kind of really cool to see something a little different if you're into that. Here's a really good example of those pedal cars I was telling you about, but the difference is maybe with most, that's a 1950s original pedal car, like paint and interior and you name it, original. However, if this isn't the most different thing here that I have seen, and I've seen a 1940s 400 mile an hour jet powered fire truck. This is awesome. 1954 Gebrüder Elah microcar, originally from Germany. And now it lives in Kansas. That thing is cool, very cool. There's quite a bit more motorcycle presence this year. It's really cool to see. This is one of those things. There are so many cool things here. You really just, besides stopping and admiring all of them, whether it's a newer build, an older build, a full resto build, a resto modded build, or maybe you're into the patina stuff. Either way, it's a lot to do in one video. I know you want to see more of the cars and more detail of the cars and things of that sort. It's one video. We've got to fit what we can in it. Well, I know we have a van as well, a camper van type thing, but I mean, you can't deny the originals. Considered getting one of those a while back. Just wanted something a little more modern. Those are still very cool. Okay, I've done these
touching little stories or histories behind certain things at a couple shows before. World of Wheels been one of them, where it was someone that was reviving a car that was very well could have been lost forever, being as rare as it is, to just something a little more touching. And that's what I want to bring this up right here. And this gentleman here owns this red HHR SS. And if you don't know anything about him, you might just think, it's just an HHR, there's nothing that special about it. You see him at a show, let him know that you want to know more history and what the actual story is behind these. But there's a little bit more to them and the story behind them that you can probably come to appreciate, okay? But there's a black one here too that's at the show as well. And I only want to bring this up here just real quick, that this was his car he's had for a while. His dad purchased this one, identical, just a year difference. And he spent all of last year trying to get it going, try to work it, because their idea was to bring them together to have twinsies at the show. And unfortunately, I just want to say, hey, rest in peace, but his dad passed away in January. With that said, it was his dad's wish for him to be here, so they are here. They are here together. They're competing basically against themselves. But it's just a kind of a touchy story, just to say that, you know, it's one thing that whether car people bring friends together or families together, it's just something that happens, and it doesn't really matter if it's an HHR or a 70 Chevelle or whatever the case may be, that you have history with your folks, with your friends, or whatever the case is. Hey man, rest in peace. Sorry for the loss. But don't stop loving the things that you love. That's Chip Foose. Anybody who's a car person probably knows who Chip Foose is. But if you didn't, it's that guy up there doing autographs. Look him up. Well, hey, thanks for joining us on this year's World of Wheels out here at the Kansas City Convention Center, in downtown Kansas City. It is a phenomenal show. It's a great show. It's very, very awesome. Thank you to everybody who's responsible for putting things like this, especially a gentleman that I have talked to in the past, Larry Way. He's one of the head coordinators for all of the World of Wheels. It's very, very cool. There was some really awesome stuff here. We had celebrities here. We saw Chip Foose just a little bit ago. Thanks for everybody bringing the rides down. I mean, there are some killer rides that show up here, and it's just a phenomenal time for everybody, and the whole weekend. I mean, it really is great. You like this? Like it. You want to see something more that you didn't see this time? Put it in the comments below and share this to everybody you think that would love it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more content of this stuff, because we do have a lot of stuff that's going to happen this year. So please stay tuned for with Craving Cars on Instagram, Facebook, and of course right here on YouTube. But to remember, all you cravers out there, keep craving.